Installing the wheel on the tire changer. Roll the wheel onto the lift. The lift will be in the middle position for most wheels. However, when servicing wheels wider than 11 inches, it may be necessary to set the lift in position 1, the lowest setting. When servicing reverse mount wheels, position 3 may be required, the highest setting. When lifting wheels larger than 24 inches, you may need to adjust the width on the lift rollers. On many reverse mount rims, you will need to install the extension pin. Raise the wheel over the spindle with the lift. Before lowering the wheel onto the spindle, align the anti-rotation pin with the lug hole. Complete the lift cycle, placing the wheel on the spindle. Adjust the wheel to center it as needed. Position the locking hub nut through the center hole of the rim. Push all the way down and turn clockwise 90 degrees to lock it in place. When the hub nut is released, it should rise slightly. Turn the locking screw down to tighten the cone in the center of the rim. Adjusting the wheel slightly may be necessary to ensure a tight fit. Align the notch in the cone with the anti-rotation pin if needed. Before starting any work on the wheel, ensure it is mounted securely. Bead loosening and lubrication. Before loosening the beads, ensure the tire is fully deflated and the valve core removed. If the wheel is equipped with a tire pressure monitoring system that can be disconnected, drop the TPMS unit inside the tire to reduce the risk of damaging it during tire removal. If the TPMS unit cannot be removed, be careful to avoid it during bead loosening and tire removal. Position the bead loosening disc in the upper position. Using the carriage adjustments, move the disc to a position on the tire sidewall as close to the rim edge without touching it, approximately 2/10 of an inch. Lock the disc in position with the lock on the control panel. Position the valve stem at 2 o'clock. Lower the bead disc to contact the tire. Spin the tire counterclockwise while applying pressure on the tire. Always rotate the tire when applying pressure with the disc. When the tire begins to move off the seat and the disc is below the rim edge, activate the overstroke to ensure pressure is applied to the bead and not the sidewall. Move the disc down in short strokes until the tire comes off the bead seat. Release the G button to return the disc to its normal position. The disc will expose the inner area of the rim. Use this opportunity to remove the TPMS if you are unable to drop it inside the tire. Then rotate the tire and apply liberal amounts of tire lube to the tire bead seat area, and the edge of the drop center. Be careful not to catch the lube applicator or your fingers in the rotating tire. Ensure that tire lube does not come in contact with the TPMS sensor. Raise the disc above the rim. Activate the carriage lock release and rotate the carriage away from the wheel. Move the disc to the lower position. Lower the carriage so the disc is below the tire. Swing the carriage back into its working position. If a standard size rim, the disc should now align with the lower bead. Rotate the tire so the valve stem is in the 2 o'clock position. Raise the carriage until the disc is in contact with the lower tire sidewall, approximately 2/10 of an inch from the rim edge. Use the mirror to ensure proper positioning before applying pressure. Start to spin the wheel counterclockwise while raising the disc to apply pressure on the bead. As with the top bead, when the tire begins to move off the seat and the disc has cleared the rim edge, actuate the overstroke to maintain pressure on the bead. With the tire clear of the bead seat, apply tire lube to the bottom bead as required. Lower the disc carriage and swing out of the work area. Tire removal. Position the valve stem at the 1 o'clock position. Move the tilt tower forward using the foot pedal. Using your left hand, pull the duck head lock button forward to release the headlock. Lower the duck head onto the edge of the rim. Pull firmly forward to ensure the duck head is positioned against the rim. If the tire sidewall prevents you from putting the duck head in position, use the Robo-Arm to push the tire out of the way. The bead loosener disc can also be used if needed. Press the duck head lock button all the way back. The duck head will automatically move back and up to create clearance with the rim. Extend the ProGuard power duck head hook. When the hook is fully extended, remove the Robo-Arm and disc if used. If the hook does not grab the bead, rotate the tire back and forth to allow the bead to walk up onto the hook. If the TPMS sensor is still in place, be sure not to rotate it into the hook. If needed, use the Robo-Arm on the opposite side of the tire to ensure it pulls properly into the drop center. The disc can also be used to push the tire up. Raise the hook, pulling the tire bead over the rim edge. Rotate the tire clockwise, removing the top bead from the rim. On tight tires, the bead may want to slip back over the rim edge. If this occurs, install the bead lock tool and move with the tire as it rotates. Reposition the valve stem at 1 o'clock. Extend the bead hook. Raise the outside bead into the drop center by hand. Then lift the bottom bead to the bead hook by raising the bead loosener disc. Raise the disc until it is approximately 4/10 of an inch above the rim edge. Raise the bead hook, pulling the lower bead up and over the duck head. Rotate the tire clockwise until the tire comes off the rim. Actuate the tilt tower to remove the duck head from the work area. Tire installation. Thoroughly inspect the rim and tire for damage and ensure the rim and tire specifications match. Liberally lubricate both tire beads before installing. For low-profile and run-flat tires, it may also be necessary to lubricate the bead seats and drop center edges of the rim. Position the valve stem at 6 o'clock. Place the tire over the rim and activate the tilt tower to bring the duck head into the working position. Tilt the tire downward with the right bead over the tail and under the bill of the duck head. Press the tire at the 5 o'clock position to hold the bottom bead onto the rim so it catches tightly. Rotate the wheel clockwise to install the bottom bead. Reposition the rim with the valve stem at 6 o'clock. Tilt the tire down at the 3 o'clock position, ensuring the upper bead is over the tail and under the bill of the duck head. Position the Robo-Arm foot on the upper tire sidewall about the 5 o'clock position, pushing down until the bead is far enough down to go into the drop center. Position the bead disc where it will keep the tire in the drop center as it rotates. The power duck head hook can also be extended slightly to help keep the tire from slipping back up over the duck head bill. Rotate the wheel clockwise until the tire is fully on the rim. Make sure the tire and rim rotate together. Use of the Robo-Arm, bead roller disc, and drop center tool may not be required on softer tires, but may be critical when servicing low-profile and run-flat tires. Lift and stow the Robo-Arm away from the tire. Raise the loosener disc and pivot out of the work area. If changing additional wheels of the same size, leave the duck head locked and tilt the tower back out of the work area. When completing the last wheel in a set, release the duck head lock and stow it in the full up and back position. Tilt the tower back out of the work area.